This is the factoring review for Monday's quiz on 1.6 to 1.8. We learned to factor the following ways: by grouping, by GCF, by IM, and by dots. Difference of two squares. So let's review one of each. So by grouping, insert the necessary set of parentheses. Notice you have a polynomial with 4 terms. I can group my polynomial here and here, and using the GCF, factor from 12AC plus 21AD 3A, leaving me with 4C plus 7D. And you can factor the next set. I'm going to factor 2B, leaving me with 4C plus 7D. Notice here you have a common factor, 4C plus 7D. That's your common factor, 4C plus 7D, times 3A plus 2B. That's factoring by grouping when you insert parentheses. Next is the GCF, the greatest common factor. It's a binomial. You want to factor out 3xy, leaving you with x minus 2y. IM is next. That's when the coefficient, the I standing for the Roman numeral 1, the coefficient of the x squared term is 1. You want to find a pair of numbers that add to 10 and multiply to 24. 4 plus 6, 4 times 6. So you get x plus 4 times x plus 6. It's a very specific trinomial with the 1 for the coefficient, adding to the middle x term and multiplying to the constant. Next is dots, difference of two squares. It's a binomial. Remember, you need to have even exponents and you need to have a negative constant, which needs to be a perfect square. And the coefficient of x could also be a perfect square. Because remember, if you wrote this actually as a trinomial, it'd be x squared plus 0x minus 121. You're still looking for numbers that add to 0 and multiply to negative 121. And those pair of numbers have to be opposites. So you would have positive 11 and negative 11. So you get x plus 11, x minus 11. Those are the 4 ways to factor, but don't forget, you can also factor completely. You might have to do 2 methods in one problem. For this example, I think I should factor out first the GCF of 3. I get x squared plus 2x minus 8. Now look inside the parentheses. That looks like I could do an IM. So I need to find a pair of numbers that will add to 2 and multiply to negative 8. So I pick 4 plus negative 2, and 4 times negative 2. So I still have my 3 for my GCF on the outside of the parentheses. It's 3 times x plus 4, x minus 2. Now the next one is a binomial. And I think I can use the GCF again and factor out a 5, leaving me with x squared minus 9. Now look at that binomial and think that 9 is a perfect square, so I could use the difference of 2 squares. X squared minus 9 is going to factor into x plus 3 times x minus 3. And don't forget the 5. The GCF is still on the outside of the parentheses, because it would be x squared plus 0x minus 9. You want to find numbers that will add to 0 and multiply to negative 9. And again, you need opposites for that to work. So always make sure you factor completely.